definitely. But then when they were like, okay, well now you can just bring her back to life, I was like, oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, we all
Like,
know how River feels about that kind of stuff. He doesn't like that. If the character's dead, they stay dead. He hates Dragon Ball, by the way. Absolutely hates it. He's like,
okay. See, here's the thing about that is I all right, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the flow. It's your host as always, River, and with me I have Timmy.
yep, I'm here, guys.
I know he's a little hurt he wasn't on the last podcast, but he's here now. So that's
Big
what
friend.
matters. Now all I'm gonna say is he capped on himself and just leave it at that.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah. But anyway, today this is the second episode of Awakening the Flow Within podcast. Podcast. And today we're gonna be talking about Charlotte. This is anime that Timmy recommended to me.
Okay.
So that's pretty much how we're doing it. It's just, whatever he's thinking for the next one, unless I have one, which I will for the next one, hopefully, if Timmy actually watches what I told him to watch.
Yes, I will.
Oh, so you still haven't started it. I told you like a little while ago now.
Dude. Look, listen. I have a reason for why I haven't seen it yet. Okay. So you told me, right?
Yeah.
And I wasn't in town then, and I was thinking to myself, okay, I'll watch this when I'm home. Then I forgot.
Okay. Okay. Well, it's not the best. It's not the best reason, but I'll accept
it's
it.
understandable. It's understandable.
It's understandable, but it's not a good reason. But
Tell me
I'll
a week.
accept it.
Tell me a week in advance. Matter of fact, like 2 days in advance, and I'll watch all of it.
Okay. It's only 11 episodes, so we're good.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you want,
I could watch it all in a day if I wanted to.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyways, let's actually get into Charlotte. So, Tim, you wanna
Yes.
just give us your thoughts on Charlotte right off the bat? Also, before you start, we're both kind of like eating because, I just want to let you guys know I'm going to be eating. He's eating some cheeses. I'm eating some slaw. So yeah. Anyway, so what are your thoughts on Charlotte?
She's eating some leaves. So I like Charlotte. I felt like, honestly, there's not much I don't like, but thinking about it, I feel like it was like, honestly, it was a little bit of a twist, to be honest. I was not expecting it to go that route. I was expecting it to be more like kind of like a wholesome slice of life, almost kind of gang Tama-ish thing where like it's just a group of people helping other people with their problems. They just have powers. And then I guess spoiler alert.
Well, I mean, it's going to just
I guess I don't know.
Let's say let's try to keep the first half of the podcast like spoiler free.
Okay.
So since we're trying to get people into these anime, and then like the second half we'll start like talking about it. All right. And then if they want to watch it, they can just come back.
Yeah. I think it definitely like kind of was like, I guess people that were watching that first time might have thought it was cliche, but with the route it went, I think it really kind of signified itself as something unique, kind of, and I liked it. It was good.
Well, anyway, to give my thoughts, I basically thought the same thing as Timmy. I thought it was gonna be like a slice of life, wholesome type vibe, and it kind of reminded me of like My Hero off the bat, just because their powers like kind of similar to like quirks, you could say. But that was just my thoughts. Well, nah, I don't know. I don't know if I'd say My Hero would be what it reminds me of, but I don't know. That's just what I can think of off the top of my head at the moment. But regardless, it definitely turned into something else other than that. There were definitely some dark moments, and there's something that happens about in the middle of the series that kind of creates it turns really dark for like a couple of episodes. And I thought that was like, it was something I didn't expect at all, and I thought it definitely changed the tone because from like the second half of the series onward, it's definitely a little bit darker. And I think I enjoyed that a lot because it actually went into deeper details of like, different things I didn't expect from this type of show, at least from just the base looking at it and just, I went into it blind. So yeah, I would say definitely solid show. I would recommend it.
I would as
The
well. And it's not that long, like 12 episodes.
Yeah, 13. 13.
Ah, I knew it.
Yeah.
I had a
And
creeping suspicion it was more.
you wanna what do you want to give like a brief summary of it
Um,
and what it's about?
sure. You want me to do it?
Yeah,
Oh,
you got
okay.
it.
What's his name? I totally forgot the main character's name.
It's you.
It's me?
You.
It's me.
No.
I'm such a jokester.
Uh,
Anyways, man, shut up. I'll leave the whole call.
like,
Anyways,
wow. No, that would hurt my feelings.
yeah, that was the point.
Well,
So you,
as long as it's the point.
so like in the beginning, you kind of like he thought he was like, kind of like a unique kid. He had these powers that kind of like let him, well, if I remember correctly, like he was using them to like for like little petty things like cheat off other people's like tests, stuff like
Yeah,
that.
that's what he did because he basically cheated up everyone else's stuff and got high scores. And then so he got into like this top high school and he was cheating there, and then that's where they found him out because they were like, hey, you need to retake this test. And he was like, ah shit. They're like, yeah, you're just gonna be taking it by yourself right here. And if you can get the same grade or higher, then we know you're not cheating. And he just ran away. He was like, fuck this shit. And that's where the president, what's her name?
Well,
No, it starts with an N. I
um,
forgot.
shoot, man. We're gonna see.
All right, bet.
Um, name was Nao, Nao,
Mm,
Nao.
yeah, that's it.
Yes, that is it. I'm
So
remembering now.
her power is that she could turn invisible. So she was like hiding, and then she was like, making sure she wouldn't cheat or whatever. And that's how she was finding the people. So then they bring him in to their school because these people are trying to hunt those people down, and like they don't want them to use their powers, blah blah blah.
What
So
are
then
their
they
powers
start.
even called?
I don't know. Basically, it's like because they're hitting puberty. So like after puberty, their powers like go away.
I remember. Yeah, you're right.
I
I don't know
mean,
if
I
they
guess,
ever labeled them anything.
yeah, I'm not sure. But the thing is, you guys don't be like, oh, well, you're spoiling a bunch of things. Really, you find that out like right away, regardless. And there's a lot of much bigger plot points that, excuse
Matter
me.
more than a little
Yeah,
thing
but
like
yeah,
that.
It's a lot of twists and turns. Like after like the first like 5 episodes, it's just like a boom, 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 this, and this. And you're kind of like thrown all over the place. So that's one thing I liked about it because it hooks you in. Like in the beginning, it doesn't really hook you in right away. Like she's like, okay, it's kind of cool, kind of cliche. Like
I'm about
it's
to
something you're
say,
probably kind of used to. But then like after the first couple episodes, you start to like enjoy and you start to get hooked in. And then by the time you're about halfway through, it's like then you really want to figure out what's gonna happen next. So yeah, it's
okay, I
pretty good.
found out a little thing. Apparently, they kind of have like unique names. Kind of like the main character, his is called Looting.
Well, um,
Wait, was it what? Is that a spoiler? Would you say that's a spoiler?
well,
I mean, no.
we'll just disregard that for now. Yeah, okay, no, yeah, okay. We'll say that his power is that he can go into other people and he can make for 5 seconds because all their powers are like defective. So they can't like do like in his body just collapses. He can go
Yeah,
into
it's
it for
not
like five
crazy
seconds.
overpowered. Yeah.
And we'll say that's why it's called looting because of that. We'll just leave it at that. We won't go into more detail about that.
See, River, you just did that. Now you got
Because
people
that
thinking something. You shouldn't have ever reacted.
well that I don't think that We can talk about that later on.
Okay,
Once we
we'll
get to
talk
the
about that earlier.
spoiler parts.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah. But yeah, so they're basically defective, and like the other people's powers like similar. Like there's this one guy, like one of the other main guys, he can like super speed, but like he can't get sure where he's going. So like he'll just like fly through windows and shit when he tries to do it.
Oh
Like
yeah, I remember all that. That was hilarious.
yeah, it's so funny.
Mm,
Like he's like, let me get these sandwiches, and then he comes back all bloody and shit with like glass stuck in him. And it's just like, oh, what the hell?
yo,
But
tapping
he
up
got the
there on that
sandwiches
front.
though. He got the
Right,
sandwiches though.
he got his target. He got his target. And
Mm.
so yeah, I guess it's gonna be a shorter one. But yeah, as the episodes progress, they're kind of like they kind of come across all types of characters that have powers that are either out of control or kind of like the main characters. They use them for nefarious purposes, and they kind of go around, I guess, resolving the issue of the episode or the issue of the day, kind of thing.
Yeah, that's kind of how it is for a decent portion of it. And then we get into the, other stuff that will be in the spoiler section. Um, Regardless, um, why would you say you recommended me this one? What was the thoughts in terms of that?
Okay, well, it was short, 13 episodes,
Mhm.
and then also because like the twist that happens, not
Yeah,
twist, but like I wouldn't even call it a twist. It's just more like whoa, like the event that occurs later on. It just kind of made it different because like in the beginning couple episodes, you were kind of thinking, like I said before, oh, it's just a generic, ragtag bunch who just go around helping people, and then that episode hits, and you're like, whoa, this is this is not this isn't like your usual anime. It's pretty different. I'd say that's what I kind of liked about it, and also the powers and all that, they were pretty cool. It was just like it's just a good small little series to watch.
yeah, and it's not one that gets a lot of. It's not like one of the names that you hear a lot in terms of anime. So it's another one that kind of puts you guys on because not a lot of people talk about it. So that was kind of the same with the way the house husband because I hadn't heard anyone talk about that until Timmy brought it up. And same with Charlotte. So these are kind of like low key, more low key anime, which is the goal of the podcast, is like trying to find those low key anime that are fire that don't get talked about enough. Like awakening, the flow, which is like, and finding your own, like what you really like and digging deeper to find that. So yeah, that's kind of the goal. I think I wouldn't say, oh my gosh, you have to go watch this right now, but definitely add it to your list. I would say if you want a shorter anime to knock out, that's going to be entertaining. Definitely go ahead, check it out. I definitely highly recommend it. I would probably rate it probably a 7 or 8. I mean, there's just one moment that kind of is like, that we'll get into in a little bit that I didn't really like that much. That kind of brings the rating a little bit down for me because, yeah, we'll just get into it in a little bit. But regardless, I probably rate it like I'll say like a 7.5. I give it. But what do you think you would give it to me, like in terms of recommendation?
I'd give it a solid 8. I feel like mm, depending on the type of person you are, it can either make or break it for you. Like what you're
True, true.
saying, like what
Yeah.
you're saying for you, it kind of, I guess that scene or where the decision went with the, I can't really say anything. I'll say
Yeah.
it later. I'll just say it
Mhm.
later. But like, let's just say the series is forgiving. We'll say that. We'll say that
Yes.
it's
All
forgiving.
right. Well, anyways, that's gonna do it for our non-spoiler section. I think we covered it pretty well.
I think so too.
But from here on out, we're gonna be talking about spoilers. So I'll insert a spoiler warning here. And if you guys want to go check out the show and then come back to this part where you can hear our thoughts on the overarching things that are more spoiler worthy, go ahead and come back. Save it, add it to your watch later, whatever the heck you want to do.
Or
Regardless.
if you like
If you don't
me and you
come,
like spoilers, then go ahead and watch
fuck it.
on.
Yep. Well, spoiler warning has been inserted. So here we go. So the thing I was just the thing I was just talking about was his sister. We actually did not bring up his sister because she's basically a pretty big spoiler just in general. Like because in the beginning she doesn't really do anything.
Yeah, she's kind of just
So
there.
yeah, she's kind of just there. Like you wouldn't even think about it, but she becomes very important. And spoil. What is her name? Did you?
What is her name?
Oh, it's
Let's see.
Ayumi. It's Ayumi, isn't it?
I
It's either
it's
Ayumi or Iumi.
yeah, it is Ayumi.
Is it Ayumi? Ayumi?
Yeah.
Okay. So Ayumi, well, yeah, when spoil, she dies. So that's basically the spoiler we were trying to avoid. So in episode 6, I believe, is when she dies, and then that's when Yu goes into a depression for like the next couple episodes. And that the depression part was probably like his little depression arc was one of like the best. It was one of the best parts of the show for me because I really enjoyed like what that brought to the table. I just thought it was very interesting diving deeper below the surface and like it actually showed us um you wouldn't think of the show as a deep show, but that was actually a very deep part and I enjoy that type of thing. Cause I'm pretty sure you probably guys probably know that about me by now. I enjoy the deeper psychological stuff.
Yeah, it was really interesting. It's like I was like, when she died and he went to the depression, I was like, oh snap. He just went around doing whatever, using his power all willy-nilly. He's just like,
Yeah,
whew. I was like, honestly, I think it would have been more interesting to see where the show could have gone from there. I feel like instead of the route it
definitely.
took, they could have
Yeah.
went away where say there's like a bigger issue and then like he kind of has to come out and like I don't know fight against this big bad
Mhm.
guy. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
he has to
don't
like
know.
over he has to overcome. He
Overcome
never
something.
he never fully overcame his depression in my mind because
To
we
be
go a
fair, it
couple
was
of
like
episodes.
it was only like what a week before the girl came and kind of just fixed
Well,
everything.
no, she was actually with him the entire time. She
Well,
was
yeah,
like
yeah,
looking
yeah.
out
But I
for him.
know it was like it was a short amount of time though.
Yeah, it was a
So I
week.
feel
It
like
was a week or two. Yeah.
yeah. So I feel like I mean, for I feel like it's normal to still be like in that depressive state if it's
Mhm.
only like a week or two because you know that's family. You don't get over that easily.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. But then when they were like, okay, well now you can just bring her back to life, I was like, oh my gosh,
Oh yeah, we all
like
know how River feels about that kind of stuff. He doesn't like that. If the character's dead, they stay dead. He hates
I,
Dragon Ball, by the way. Absolutely hates it. He's like,
okay. See, here's the thing about that is I disagree about I don't dislike that, but I just there's so much potential in the fact that like if you just left her dead the way it could go, like how you were saying, it would be so much more interesting to me for them to keep delving into those themes. And so it feels like they take the easy way, like, okay, you can bring her back, and now you do this and this and this. Now, I remember we did talk about this before when I actually finished the show. It's been a while now.
yeah,
I think it's been
yeah,
like over a month now.
yeah.
But
This episode
regardless,
was long in the making.
yeah. All right. Well, regardless, yeah, it just feels like it's so much wasted potential, in my opinion. Like the same like because if you watch the EU episode with the I don't want to spoil you here because that's an ongoing series. So I want you guys to go check out those episodes and watch you because that's something you definitely need to watch because that's gas. But there's a certain character that dies in Yu that I felt the same way about. I thought it would have been very interesting to see how the show would tackle those themes if it kept going like that. Like with certain shows, it's okay because that's not really the type of show it is. But when you see like the potential of how the depression and like the themes that it's going down right there, like I see the potential there that could really be something. Like in Dragon Ball, they die, but it's not really, it doesn't delve into deeper psychological themes at all. Like they're just able to be brought back. Like in Yu and in Charlotte, I saw the potential there that they were actually, because they're darker shows than Dragon Ball is. So they can actually go down those themes more and just to see that potential wastage is what hurts me. It's like, damn, like I
I
would
get
have
what you're
enjoyed
saying. I
it,
feel like it was kind of.
and that's also different. Like not a lot of shows do that. So
I feel like with this one, it's not as explainable. Like as some would say, it was a pull, if you know what I mean. It was just
mhm.
like, oh, you guess what? There's a power that can actually turn back time all of a sudden. Let's go get it. It's kind of like, well, all right, that okay, that happened. I guess that happened.
In fairness, they were building up to that a little bit here and there. Them having those flashbacks. I don't know when he started having those flashbacks because if that actually happened after his sister's death, then yeah, that was definitely an asshole. But if those flashbacks were happening about his brother before her death, I can't remember. I don't know if you guys want to help me in the comments or if you remember, Timmy. but they tried to act like they were building it up. I don't know if they did or not, but regardless.
Honestly, they probably have. It's been a second for me, so maybe what I'm saying is just a bunch of BS, and I'm gonna get called out. But from what I can remember, it seemed like it just kind of happened. But I'll look into it real fast. Episode what, 13? Wait, what episode did the reveal kind of happen?
I think it was like 8 or 9.
What was it? Okay.
But what I'm saying is he had like flashbacks of his brother like being with them. Like he had flashbacks of another family member because his brother had made him forget his memories, but they were starting to come back very slowly. So that's what happened. That's what I'm talking about.
I think I know what you mean.
Now, what I did find very interesting was the whole backstory of the whole situation. I actually thought that was really cool and interesting, but it also felt like some bullshit. But at least it was interesting bullshit. So I can give a little bit of a pass.
Who had the time? Who had the time power?
His brother.
Okay. Now that I'm thinking about it, it doesn't seem like that much of an aspect because I didn't know who had the power. I feel like that could be explained. That could be. It's been years since I watched this anime, so forget it. But yeah, I think that's fair. I think I could see that working, but still kind of just weird that it just kind of happened all of a sudden, in my opinion. It's like, I don't know. Feels like it's just like, oh, and here we are.
Yeah, definitely. ASMR.
Hold up. Oh.
What?
Okay. How interesting.
Huh.
Okay, so it makes sense. Because what the hell? Anyways. So the brother, remember the brother was locked up in the like little place and then he was kept from using his abilities.
Yeah.
So it kind of makes sense why he couldn't really act on his own. I feel like it's explained. It works.
What do you mean? He was locked up in.
Okay, so like I looked at the plot with him or whatever, and well, let me actually read the part. Shunsuke first appeared in his younger brother's memory at the facility where all ability wielders were captured and kept for scientific purposes. He was found by you strapped to a mattress with a device blocking his eyes so the light couldn't enter them and let him time leap.
Oh, okay. So basically that was the actual memories. That was what happened before the actual beginning of the show. So the beginning of the show basically takes place after his brother saved all of them. And then
so I'm just stupid.
Yeah. So that was like what happened beforehand.
Okay.
So because they were all there, and then he had to go find his brother to break him out so he could save all of them. Basically.
Oh, so it's just a big time loop kind of thing in a way.
Yeah.
Like I swear I've watched this before, guys. I swear I
have. Yeah, but I actually found that part interesting about what actually happened, how they all got captured. And then his brother had to keep going back in time. And that's why he's blind at this point, because he has to use his eyes to be able to. But every time because he couldn't quite get it to work and he had to keep building and figuring things out over and over again, to the point where he was finally able to create the society that helps protect them and create the school. But that took a lot of trial and error because they kept getting recaptured. He had to keep escaping.
That gives me Tokyo Revenger vibes. Takemichi Kan.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I feel like that low key is a spoiler, but
that's why I didn't finish it. All I said was it gave me Tokyo Revenger vibes. No one knows what that means unless they've seen it. And it happens in the first episode.
No, I'm talking about a spoiler for the future because to me, that means like, okay, well, he can go back in time even past. because at least
No,
from where we're at right now
yeah.
is he he went back in time to a certain point, but then from there he can't go back in time to any day before that point where he first went
No,
back.
no,
Okay, so it's still
no,
like
no.
that.
I didn't mean it's not like no, he can't like spam it, quote unquote. Like
Okay,
he'll be
okay.
like, he goes back 15 years, he'll be like, hey, shake my hand,
But
goes
he has to
back
go
another
back to the
15.
specific. He has to go back to the specific day that it is. Like he
Yeah,
can't.
it's
Yeah,
like if it's Tuesday, he'll go back on 15 years Tuesday.
yeah.
Not
Okay,
like
okay.
not
Got
like
it.
yeah.
I
It's
thought
like
there was some like different thing that he ends up doing. I was like, bro, you really
nah,
just spoiled that like that.
no, what?
Tyler's gonna beat your ass if he watches this.
His
But
consciousness is literally just snatched from that body and put in that. It's kind of weird, but it's
it
like
is weird. But
makes
we can
sense at
talk
the
about
same
Tokyo
time.
Revengers in a different podcast.
Yeah, you're right. This is Charlotte, not TR.
But yeah, so I think, and then I guess we can just get into the ending real quick. That when the ending, I thought it was pretty good, but they definitely rushed it. Like from the point where he first meets his brother, it's basically just rushed from that point on. I don't know if there was a time crunch with the studio or whatnot. I don't know what was going on at that point, but it definitely feels like they had the 13 episode limit. I think like, oh shit, we had to like speed this up, this plot, because it was just
But
going from one thing to the next, the next, the next, the next, the next, the next. And then all of a sudden, we got you in the last episode saving everyone and then coming back in one episode. I'm just like, bruh, really? Man, literally, he became a god, bro. Like it's ridiculous. Like I okay, we didn't touch on this yet, but basically he gets his powers actually that he can steal other people's powers and he keeps it for himself. So the plan ends up being that to be able to save all of them because they can't develop a drug, you is gonna go take every single person's powers in the world to basically just stop it. So you see like when like after he's taking a bunch of people, he's going insane while he's doing this. Like he doesn't even have any memories. And the only thing that reminds him is that that note, the notebook of words that now had made for him because you know they're basically in love or whatever. That's a big love thing that never actually really gets realized. So like I don't really know. Yeah, that's another thing that they must have rushed because they didn't when they finished it, it felt like I don't know. I guess at the same time, it's like they no, I take that back. I take that back. I actually like the way they finished it. What do you think about the way they finished it? Do you remember?
yeah, yeah, I thought it was pretty like because I won't lie, I'm a sucker for like nomads, people just traveling the world type stuff.
Yeah, I thought
I
that was
like
cool.
that.
But they only did that for one episode. I was like,
Yeah,
more
that kind of
wasted
sucks.
potential.
I do because I really do like when when anime and like just things in general kind of include the whole other world. Because
Yeah,
sometimes in
yeah.
like some things I'll be kind of thinking to myself, like get the like we have to assume this is happening in Japan. What about the rest of the world? Like what's a quick example? Um let's say Bleach, for example. I don't know. Like everything's in Japan, I assume in
Yeah.
Bleach. Like what's happening in the rest of the world? Are there hollows in the rest of the and it's just like I just be having questions like that sometimes. So it's kind of
Well,
nice to
it's
see.
basically just a town. It's not even like all Japan.
Yeah, that is true. And so it's like, yeah, you're right. Like, is the rest of Japan like this? Do they have Soul Reapers all over? What kind of powers do they have?
Yep.
Are there places that are overtook by Hollow? Like, are there still Quints? It's just a bunch of questions like
Yeah.
that.
There's
So it's
there's a
like,
lot of that's one thing with world building, and that's why I mean I haven't seen One Piece, but I would assume that the reason One Piece gets all the praise it does is a lot to do with this world building because it actually expands on all of those things that not a lot of stories do. Now you could also say Naruto as well, because while it does delve into that, it doesn't feel like they don't actually go into it like they were at the beginning of the story. Like there's very time off before they just start introducing the other people just to the story. And they don't really go into that until later on. If they're not really traveling, you don't see them traveling a lot besides in
yeah.
like the filler and stuff. But guys.
And it reminds me of JoJo because in JoJo Part 3 they travel the world and everyone just kind of
Okay.
memes how everyone coincidentally can speak the same language. Man, everyone in the world must be fluent in
Yeah,
Japanese.
that's actually yeah, I would that is very funny that is true like that. But I mean, I guess it is what it is. Like the thing is though, is because they'll have settings in like other places in the world. Like they'll have a setting to be in the USA, and everyone's still speaking Japanese, so it doesn't
Yeah.
really like it doesn't
Sometimes there's
really
like
necessarily
pieces of
matter, I
bits
guess.
and pieces of English.
Hmm.
Of like how are like I guess it kind of makes sense because they're the Japanese actors. You just kind of have to
Yeah,
assume they're speaking English.
when the Japanese actors speak English, it's funny. Like the way they do it is very funny.
Japanese English is like it's pretty cool. It works. Like there's a band I like. Um, whenever they have a whole song that's in English, but if I didn't search up a
Oh,
lyric
okay.
video, I wouldn't even know that. I wouldn't even have known. But it still works. It works, and I
I
like it.
mean,
I like
yeah,
the
bro.
song.
Yeah. Like in Terran Resonance, which I mean you haven't seen yet, but by the way, that's the next one we're gonna be doing for the podcast is
But
Terran
you just
Resonance.
spoiled it, and you say I spoil stuff.
I mean, we're getting close to the end of the video, so I might as well
Fair
just say
enough.
this now. We're kind of been all over the place. We'll get back on track after I say this. But yeah, that's the next one we're doing. And there's like agents that come in from America and they speak Japanese, but you also see them speaking English when they're like on the phone with someone else. So I think that's kind of a they do that you sometimes when like they have Americans come over to Japan, but like if they just go to America, like they're not I don't usually have everyone speaking English, but you know, regardless or whatever. So yeah, I would say just what I wanted to say about the ending for Charlotte is I liked how it wasn't a happy end. Like you could say like okay, it kind of is like it is a happy ending, but at the same time it's not because you see when you see the last of you and all of them together, he still barely remembers any of them. He so it's almost like it's kind of like it's
There's
still
still a negative,
there's like
still a
a
con.
melatonin. There's like a well, is melatonin the right word or monotone? I don't know.
I don't even know what melatonin means.
Melatonin. I'm trying to think.
Serotonin.
Melatonin.
I don't even know what serotonin is. I mean, it was like
Uh,
it was a good ending, but there's still consequences.
yeah, well, yeah, exactly. There's consequences. Yeah, I would say maybe monotone.
Like
That's not the right word either.
I feel
There's
like
darkness still. There's like sadness still there. Basically, is what I'm trying to say.
yeah, there wasn't
Because
like a 100%, and everything's back to rainbows and sunshine
like
kind of
he didn't
ordeal.
just get all his memories back, and then there's a wedding between him and now, blah, and then everything just ends. He's like you see them taking. She has the camera, and he's in a wheelchair. They're about to take a picture, and he's sitting there all
Just
busted
shit.
up and shit. Doesn't even remember them at all, and he's still going to say like there's consequences to the ending. And I feel like that is a good way to end it off because like okay, well, even though you didn't see everything that happened, you kind of get like the sad feeling of like I forgot about her brother. Do you remember her brother?
I was just looking into it. Nao's brother, the
Yes.
dude that got kind of went crazy from like the
Yeah,
science and all that kind of stuff.
bro, I forgot about that part because that's another I think, a very high point of a story from like a writing standpoint is to see how her brother went insane, to see how that's affected her, and just that whole little mini story that's involved. I thought was very like top quality, and then to see how the music was able to like partly bring him back a little bit, and that's like reality to like that. There's a lot of things like that when you might have someone with a mental disease or something and then that's kind of like a real world thing. And then to see like how he's making music by like tearing the bed apart, it's really just sad, and like that really happens in real life. So I think that was a good depiction of that. I think they did a good job. And then that actually, I don't know if I thought about this before, but that actually goes back into you because you kind of turns out a similar way to how he did. Now it's almost like foreshadowing because they're showing you what can happen to people like that, and then that kind of ends up happening to you in the end. So I thought that was actually pretty interesting. I just thought of that.
Yeah, yeah. I liked it, man. That part was like, bro, everyone just got messed up families in this anime,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah, yeah. And then their parents just died. I guess they really,
I guess just dead.
yeah, yeah. I mean, that's how it kind of is in most anime. Parents just dead or gone or something, or out hunting stuff. Well, even in like Hunter x Hunter, which I was just alluding to, like you have who the hell is Gon's mom? No, no, who's Gon's mom? They just no one even like talks about his mom. Like she's just not even a thing. So I mean, whatever. But Yeah, so I think we pretty much covered everything. I don't know if there's anything that you think we missed out that we need to go ahead and cover. Still, Timmy.
Um, coming from a person who hasn't watched this in like what I watched this as it was coming out. So let's see how long ago was that? 2016.
Ah,
I couldn't tell you.
yeah.
I feel like we covered quite a bit. Maybe there was some stuff in the like middle episodes that were kind of funnier. Haha, you should have talked about this. But like, I'm sorry, I can't remember. But regardless, it was fun. It was a good. I like it.
Well, I'm not really that much of a, I'm not like a big romantic, but I think the, I guess, love story per se between like now and you was written pretty well. I know you're more into that. I think I don't know, but I don't know if you would agree with that.
Say that one
That's
more
something
time.
else to touch on. I feel like they're like quote unquote like love story thing was like it was pretty
Oh,
well written from
oh
like a
yeah,
writing standpoint.
yeah.
And it
Because
just
at
kind of
first
built
they
up.
kind of hated each. Not hated. Well,
Yeah.
I feel like more you kind of didn't like now. They're kind of like I don't want to say rivals, but like it was more like a
Yeah.
work relationship almost. Because like you
But
know
they had
they
like
were in
good
the same
chemistry
club
though.
or whatever.
It's kind of one of those ones that, like everyone else around them knows like, okay, well, they like each other deep down, but then like when them two don't really know, I guess. Or they're like oblivious to their own emotions. But yeah, I would say like overall, let me think. So, we began with how you had his powers and found the got into the club. One thing was like his sister when she was making the rise for him, and she'd always write the thing on there. Do you remember that? That's another part we didn't touch on. And, like he
Mm.
threw it away, and then
The food.
yeah,
Yep.
I should always make it with that sauce. And then
Didn't he get sick of
uh
it or something?
yeah, he was like ugh, like every time he got home. And like one day there was
Yeah,
out of it and she made curry and then he really liked it. And then he like the last one he threw away before she died. And then when now ended up making it again and he ate it, he started crying and shit. I was like, damn, that one hurt.
that
And he
did
was
hit.
like,
I remember that. Oh man, it was like
but
come
then
on.
she came back to life, so it
It's kind of
wasn't
one of
bad.
those you don't appreciate the small things until they stop or whatever.
Yeah,
I don't know.
definitely.
I
But
don't know.
you know, then it just
Rant.
part of it to me, like the same thing with the character for me, you how I talked about that. Like it almost feels like all that was for naught. Like why did that even matter? Like if she came back.
It
But
was
that's just me being the complainer I am,
it's,
nitpicker
it's
I am.
it, I
It
feel
is
like
what it is.
in some instances a character dying and coming back works. And sometimes it's like, oh, come on, that character is obviously dead. Like in Bleach, I won't say it because you're whatever. Um, there's a similar situation to that where I know you would absolutely hate, but apparently from what I've heard, it's not necessarily. I think the creator actually wanted to kill the character, but because of the
Oh,
fans,
was it was so I
you're not gonna
just
get it. You're not gonna get it, but you can guess.
was it Ichigo.
Nah.
Oh, because I remember when he was fighting Okiora like the first time, and then he
Oh,
like
okay. Well, that's understandable. For I don't
you
know how
remember
far you
that
are
one,
with
and then
Bleach.
like he knew he like healed him,
Oh, the first time you
and
mean?
then and then
Oh,
and
the
then he
first time
fought
they.
and then he fought Grimmajaw for the last time
Oh yeah,
when they were in the Rancor world, whatever the fuck it's called, I forgot.
the Waco Mundo.
Yeah, Weka Mundo. Yeah.
Dude, I love Bleach, man. Don't
So
ever
it was
question
so
me.
it was after that. You're saying?
Yeah. No. The thing I'm talking about is in the manga. If you read the Thousand Year Blood War arc or
Oh, it's
whatever.
in the Thousand Year Blood War. Okay, yeah, we don't have to get into that then, but you
Yeah,
can
I
just
mean,
say what you were gonna.
I'm
You can
not
just
saying
make your
anything.
point. Okay,
But
okay.
people feel like because of the fans, the character that should have died was
Mm,
like, oh, he's on the brink of death kind of situation. And honestly, I think he should have died. It kind of makes me mad that he didn't die because it's one of those
yeah,
like it would just mean so much more when another character like fought the other character and
yeah.
like I'm doing this for the character you can't like it
Just
would
how
have
like
just
just how in Yu Yu when that that basically happened, but then a certain character is brought back to life again. So
I disagree with that Yu one. I disagree with that like it's
I
different.
keep bringing that back, but
It's different though, because
we
it's like
we honestly we need to make a podcast about this and just delve into like just like death in anime and like
I'm cool
how it
with
can
that.
be bullshit or how when it's done right or when it's done wrong when they're brought back to life or killed off. Because
Like,
like you can also go to Naruto and say, well, I mean, I hope everyone here has probably seen Naruto. So I'm just gonna say that when Neji died, it was like, what the fuck? Why did you just kill
yeah,
Neji for no reason? Like
yeah.
there was
No one
so
was happy with that. And
yeah, it was
it was
just
like an
like
attack that could have been evaded.
yeah,
Why do you have
literally.
to? He could have jumped in front of like, he did his
He
like
could he could have used his
trigrams, his
ultimate
circle thingy,
defense. He
or
could use
his circle thingy.
his
Yeah,
ultimate defense.
bro. Another thing that pissed me off in Naruto, bro. Mike God
But
should have died. Mike God should have died.
100%, without a doubt. That's just
Like, it
that
makes
that's
sense
just out of
why.
hand, man.
Like, it makes sense why he didn't die.
Bro, the
But
8
like,
gates, that's
but no,
it
because
just
no, Naruto has the power of life, so it makes sense. But it shouldn't have
but
happened.
they didn't have to give him the power of life.
But it makes sense because
He
that's
didn't
what
have
Hagoromo
to.
has. That's what Hagoromo has.
So Hagoromo could just was just out there reviving people.
Pretty much, dude. He's
I don't
dead, but
remember.
he's not dead. Hagoromo
See,
can't do nothing no
he's
more.
not even immortal, bro. He died.
Hagoromo, I'm pretty sure he died.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
He's alive, but he's not
Now that's
alive.
his chakra. Like the
Yeah,
same way how Minato was inside of Naruto with his chakra. Like it's
yeah.
that type of thing.
It's like a tape recorder.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
But yeah, it makes sense. But should it have happened? No.
Like see, but you could pretty much say that about all this and people
You
find out
can't
because
though.
they give a reasoning, but like this a lot of reasonings are dumb and
See, no,
bullshit.
I disagree with that though, because it's like, well, of course they'll give a reasoning, but it's like some reasonings you can sit on and be like, yeah, that makes sense. In this instance with the Naruto one, it makes sense because Naruto gained the power which allowed him to do it, and my guy so happened to be on the brink of death. So it's more of like a why not use it? It makes sense because the power. Okay. Over there sleeping on me, man. But no, it just makes sense.
Not going
It's
to
like,
sleep. It's just like
it makes sense.
so are you saying that the Amy one also makes sense?
This one in this
In
instance,
Charlotte, yeah.
well, going off
Because it's basically the
2016
same
memory,
thing.
going. Oh, whoa, wow. Well, yeah. Well, okay. No, shut up.
Is it not?
Shut up. I mean, yes, going by my logic, it is the same thing. But sometimes it just feels different.
It's just a feeling. It's about the feeling now. Huh?
I'll stab you.
This
See
is supposed to
Charlie in
be
a while.
Tim. It's supposed to be objective, not subjective.
Oh, it's supposed to be objective.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me think about this Charlotte one again,
All right,
and I'll
bet.
give you an answer.
All right.
Okay, hold up. Okay, all right. So it happened. Wait, because I don't even really remember how it happened.
Okay, so basically, because okay, that's another thing we didn't mention, but siblings basically are always like if one has the ability, all the others gonna have the ability. So she started getting sick, and that's a sign that like it'll happen, but nothing was happening. And then she sneaks into school, and there's this girl trying to kill her because this other this
Oh yeah, I know how
dude
she
was
died.
interested.
She
Had a
like
crush.
crumbles the whatever and
Listen,
crushes
listen.
her.
So she
Oh,
she had
yeah,
a
my
crush
bad.
on Amy instead of, or he had a crush on Amy instead of this girl who was getting attention from him. And then she wanted to kill her. She went to school. She snuck into school, and then the girl was trying to kill her. And then they were all running because they're like, "Oh shit, she's gone!" And they were trying to get there. And then that girl was trying to kill her, and she got so freaked out that her ability came out. And then like her ability, it was called it basically just shattered things around her, and then it collapsed. It's called collapse. So everything collapsed around her, and she just ended up dying. So that's basically what happened. And then that also happened again at when they captured you. I know they captured that one dude. I forget his name with the long hair that used to have the water splashed on him, and would point out the stuff. And he was their brother's friend. You remember him? Yeah. So he ended up dying because the building. Oh, because you stole the ability, and when he went to go save him, they captured you as well. And he got the cut on his eye, and then that's when he ended up collapse came out of him, and then that's how the. I know they killed the friend, and then he used collapse. That's what happened. They killed the friend, and he got upset and used collapse. I think. I don't know. That's kind of fuzzy, honestly, but that happened then, and then that's when they escaped, and then he ended up deciding that he was going to do because they realized it was going to keep happening. So something had to change. They had to use the time. So that's when he stole his brother's ability and did that. So yeah, that's basically what happened. If that answers your question.
Okay.
Kind of went a little all over the place, but at least the friend stayed dead. At least the friend stayed dead, I believe. So that's something.
Hold up. So wait. I'm still a little confused. I can't because this part is what's hazy to me. How did he get the power? So did he meet his brother and then get the power to go back in time? Or did he always technically have it?
Until he met his brother in the main timeline, he didn't have the ability.
So he stole it from his brother. Okay.
When they all came up with a plan that he was gonna go back in time because his brother couldn't use it because his eyes just
Yeah, he was blind. Homie was blind.
So he had to steal it to go save his sister.
See, it makes sense because the guy has the power, and it's like it just makes sense. It works. But to me personally, it just feels so forced in a way. I don't know why.
That's what I'm saying. It feels very forced.
Like it makes sense thinking about it. Like, oh, he has this power. Let me just take it from him and use it. It's
but
like all that stuff makes sense.
In fairness, if the original plan of the creator was to end off the show with him taking everyone's abilities, if that was his original plan, then I guess it kind of makes sense because he was going to have to take his brother's ability anyway. So he was always going to have the ability to take other people's abilities. Like that wasn't just some bullshit thing he came up with to save his sister. But if that is what happened, that's some nonsense. Like if he was like, okay, well, I have to get away to survive his sister. Let's give him the ability to take other people's abilities so he can take the time back in time and go save his sister. And then, well, I can also end it like this. If that's how it went, I mean, it's not for us to say how it went.
Oh, so it's pretty. But
I kind of
like what you did.
It kind of go either way.
Like that first explanation, I think that's pretty dope because it's like it's alluding to the ending, albeit you're gonna see it in like an episode or two. Cool.
Yeah. So if we can just give them the benefit of the doubt and say, okay, it kind of makes sense, but it still feels very forced. Of course, the whole thing kind of felt forced towards the end because it was very rushed. And I feel like it could have been drawn out. Like if you would have given it 20 episodes, I feel like it could have definitely been improved. And some of the bullshit things that we feel like are kind of bullshit right now wouldn't feel as much like that because they weren't rushing. But yeah, so I think that we pretty much covered everything. So if you want to get just a final thoughts, give a rating again for the people.
My final rating. Did I ever say anything?
I think you said 8. I don't know if honestly, I rate everything. Talked about. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to rate some. I recently watched Tokyo Ghoul, and I had to give that like a pretty low rating because I was like,
"Oh, dude, the manga's where it's at for that one."
Yeah, I know. I need to read the manga, but I had already started the anime, so I might as well just finish it. But the 3rd season was that was something else. I don't know.
Tokyo Ghoul Re.
Yeah,
I like the manga.
Well, the anime was
I haven't seen the anime, so I can't say anything about it.
It was very, very all over the place. I had absolutely no clue what was going on at all. And then it just, it was bad. It was bad. They basically, from what I heard, I know this is not about Tokyo Ghoul, but I'll just tell you real quick since you haven't seen the anime. Like the 1st season follows the manga. The 2nd season, they changed it up.
Oh,
but to me, they basically changed it up from the manga. And then the 3rd season is they basically here's where it gets crazy. So the 2nd season they changed it up from the manga, and the 3rd season they basically treat it as though what happened in the manga happened in the 2nd season, and they just go from that point.
Oh, so wait, what you're saying is like, so what happened is first season like manga, second season whatever they wanted, third season manga, and
Manga.
second.
Yeah. So they
And you're
basically
just
just
left.
traded.
So
Yeah.
you're
So
left to
they,
assume that the second season followed the manga.
yep, but it did not.
So it's just so you're just sitting there like, what?
Yeah,
That's
bro. He just like randomly had his memories gone. I was like, what the fuck?
that's so weird. That's so dumb because it's like, where would they even pick up on?
Yeah, they just picked it up from him losing his memories, and like they didn't even like it. Basically, like
They should have just made it their own thing at that point. They
yeah,
should have just made season
it
three.
was yeah, I and it was bad. It was bad.
You probably
I
shouldn't even have made a season three.
I mean, I still enjoyed it just because I enjoy like
The
the
fights
vibe and the
or
tone.
that.
And, like I don't know, there's the vibe, but the fights weren't even that great, honestly. Past like the second season was kind of good, and then it just turned into just yeah, the fights just got bad.
Hey
Yeah, I don't
man,
know. I just wanted to see how it ended, honestly, because I heard the ending was good, but it wasn't even that good. So
the only fighting animations I'll ever complain about is Seven Deadly Frames.
yeah, this time. Record of frames. How about that? Have you? I still need to watch that, but I've heard that Record of Ragnarok is basically like a slideshow. So
Ah, dude, I love records of Ragnarok. The manga, muy bien. It's like
yeah, yeah. Anyways, all right. So I think so. My final rating. So after we talked about that, it's hard for me to give it an 8 just because of the rushing in parts. So I think I said 7.5 earlier. I think I'm just gonna give it a clean 7.
gosh, my shoulder.
Take away the 0.5. I'll just give it a clean 7. But yeah, I definitely
I'd
I
say
think
seven as well, personally,
yeah, I think
because it's
okay,
like,
so we both got to a 7 in
yeah,
the end. All right. So yeah, well, we both recommended 7's pretty high. Like people be like, oh well, 7's just a generic 7. I try to not do that. I try to make 7's a legit 7. It's above average. It's an above average anime. Average. People act like average is 7. Average is 5, not 7. Okay, because out of 10, 5 is the middle.
I won't lie. Like I can kind of see where people come from because seven kind of is like it's like kind of
Everyone
like your
gives everything
scapegoat.
7s.
Yeah, it's just a scapegoat number. If someone
Yeah.
someone asks you to rate yourself, if someone asks the person to rate themselves, they're most likely going to say seven because seven's
Well,
like
if they're rating someone else more.
because like seven's like that number. It's like shit. I did that to someone myself.
That's decent. That's
Well,
decent. It's
like
solid.
nah, I feel like
Like you
seven.
think of 7, it's like that's solid.
Nah, I feel like the reason why people get pissed when they hear seven is kind of like okay. So whenever you think from average to like 10 out of 10 good, the middle of that is seven. So it's like seven is the average of the, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's the average of the higher
I don't know.
numbers.
Yeah. So I guess that's why people are like, hey man, you're just saying seven because everyone says seven. I guess that's what it is. But
Yeah,
yeah,
but
you could take us out. My mother needs me. So I think
all
I
right.
should probably go.
Got it. Well, I'm about to take us off anyway. So, anyways, that has been Awakening the Flow Within. We're talking about Charlotte. Next time, it'll be Terran Resonance. We hope you guys enjoy. Thank you guys for tuning in. We love you guys. We appreciate you. Flow out. Peace.